as trees fall through me. Can't run away from you inside me.
What is up, you guys? It is Jessica, doing things differently. And if you guys want to see how I made these two little end tables, then keep on watching. I took 6 little baskets, put them together, put a little container in the middle before the tray, and voila. I added some lights, but hey, if you don't like that, here's without them. You can add any color lights, really, it doesn't matter. I chose blue because these are going to go in my daughter's room, and her room is going to be purple, so blue was the closest color I could find. Probably going to have to switch them out to white, but hey, let's get started. Hello again! Alright, so let's get started. Here I'm just showing you that I'm using 6 baskets in total, and what I found that was the most easiest that I should have done, but I didn't do, is take zip ties and connect the baskets together and then glue them together as they're already kind of sturdily put together. Is sturdily even a word? Not sure, but I just made it a word. So I put these little ties on there because obviously that's all that I had at the time, but you know, whatever works, right? So I'm going to show you guys these little lines right here. You want to make sure that you line up on both baskets, because if one line is on one side and then one line is on the other side, you're going to have a pretty wonky looking thing, right? So here I'm just lining it up. I'm going to put my little ties back on, and then I'm going to start gluing it together. So that's really all. It's pretty that simple. It's pretty that simple. Stop it. It is really just that simple. All right. See? Ties, lines, good to go. Good to go. All right, so here's just a close-up shot of how I'm gluing it. Everybody knows how to glue it. I don't really know why I added this in there, but hey, whatever. It's Jessica doing things differently. No, but seriously, once you do it the first time, you're going to go back and do it a second time. And that is just going to ensure the fact that there genuinely is enough glue on there, and it's going to look very bulky when you see the finished result. You're going to be like, oh my god, that's so much glue. But we're going to cover that up, so don't worry about it. Just make sure there's enough glue to keep it together, and we'll be good. Again, here you want to make sure that you're lining up the lines on both baskets, because if you don't, then again, it's going to look wonky. Now start to glue in, and you're going to add quite a bit of glue, but you want to be careful that where you put the glue, you're kind of trying to weave it within the basket lines, because if you put it in the holes, it's going to go from one of the holes and it's going to drip down to the bottom of the basket, which I made the mistake of doing, which you can fix, but just be mindful of that. You can also use some E6000 or other stronger adhesive. I found that hot glue seemed to work okay for me, and it is pretty sturdy. It's not really coming apart, so just keep that in mind. Now you're going to take this Rust-Oleum gray spray paint and spray paint your baskets. And now you're going to take whatever colors that you want, and you're going to find 2 cans. This is my Ovaltine can, and then this was an old, I don't remember what it was, but it was an old something can. So you're going to go ahead and take your colors. You're going to lay them on your plate or your paint pan or whatever you use. I use a paper plate because I'm ghetto and I don't care. I can use it and throw it away. Anyways, go ahead and crack myself up. You mix these paints together to get the desired look, and then you give your cans one coat. Yes, I could spray paint this, and I went the hard way. Listen, I first painted it, and then you'll see later on that I painted again, and then I'm still not happy with that desired look, so I do it again. And I mean, I went through it. I'm not even gonna lie. So give your cans a nice little coat, make them look how you want it to look, and you're done. You're done. Don't make it more difficult than it has to be, for real. Okay, so after you give your cans a coat, you're going to take baking soda and your acrylic paint and you're going to mix it. I have seen this all over YouTube recently, and yes, I decided to jump on the bandwagon. Yes, I did. So you're going to mix them until you get the consistency that you want. In my opinion, it's almost like a pudding, maybe a pancake batter consistency, and then you go ahead and slap it on those cans. Yeah, baby. And here is the finished result when they have dried, which I like, but you'll see that I don't like enough because I will change them once again. So let's move on. Now I'm taking some black acrylic paint and some water, and I'm going to mix these both together. That is going to act kind of like as a dye for my rope, because I think that the rope is a little bit too light up against the gray. So here I'm just shoving it in there. I'm going to coat the entire rope, and then I'm going to kind of like wring it out. And this is the color we got, which is perfect. Love it. Now I'm kind of like twisting the rope as I go, and I'm going to cover up the seams that we hot glued the baskets together, because you don't want to see that. It's not cute. It's not pretty. Let's cover it up. And I didn't let the rope dry either. It stuck on there just fine right after I wring it. So, all right, so once the rope is finished gluing around, I had this little gap right here, so I filled it in with these flowers that will match perfectly with my daughter's room, so it all worked out good. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and put the rope around the bottom trim. I'm going to put it all the way around, and then once I get to the middle, I'm going to fill it in with flowers again. All right, and here's what it looks like with the flowers on the top and the bottom. So I decided that it would look better with the rope around the middle as well. There really was no glue there or anything. I just thought it looked better with it on there. So here I'm just adding more rope around the mid section, and this is also going to help it have a little bit more stability. So that's good. All right, and here is what it is looking like so far. So we have the rope in each one of the seams, and then the flowers in the middle, and I think it looks really good so far, at least. I mean, out of some waste cans, it looks pretty good to me. So I'm happy with the results so far. All right, and here is the part where I told you guys I still wasn't happy with the outlook of the cans that I was going to be putting before the base of the stands. So I add some salt, some baking soda, and then some acrylic paint, and I mix it all together to where it has, like I said, that pudding or pancake consistency. And then I'm just going to go ahead and paint my cans over again. So it was still a bit too thick. It was almost like mud, pretty much. But I just wanted that like textured look to these, almost like, I don't know, like a ceramic or something. But you can see it's kind of going on like mud. So I did have to end up adding a little bit more paint to it, and then it was the perfect consistency, and it was great. And now I'm going to repeat the same steps on the smaller can, and we'll be done with these. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of white acrylic paint and kind of just brush over what I just did on both cans. All right, time for our toppers. So we're just going to take the white acrylic paint, coat the entire top with the white acrylic, and then we're going to go in with different colors to kind of spruce it up. Now with your brush, you're just going to kind of like tap it all the way around, going in towards the middle. And you can add as much or as little. You can skip this step. You can just spray paint it to make it easier. Honestly, this part is very customizable. Like I said, now I'm just mixing colors until I like it, and then I will thin out the paint and splatter it on the front, and bam, you're done. Now I took this acrylic flat acrylic sealer and I sprayed my cans to make sure that that would stay on there. So now it's time to glue the cans on top of the baskets. Now, I had to learn the hard way, so I will share this tip with you. I am moving, I feel like, at a snail's pace right here. I'm not going very fast. I'm just like, taking my time. Well, bad idea. Go ahead, try to get the glue on there as quickly as possible. Put the can on there and then flip the entire thing upside down to where the can is actually sitting on the table and the baskets are kind of like sitting on top of the can, because then that's going to allow the glue not to seep through all the little holes and start dripping through the baskets. So just a little tip. Hopefully that works for you. So I did forget to mention with the first can, you're going to want to mark where the can sits, because when you remove the can and you try to put the hot glue down, you're not going to remember exactly where the can sat. So it's just a good idea to mark it. That way there are no mistakes, or at least less room for error. Listen, I learned the hard way. I'm telling you, just listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. Alright, so now we're going to add some more rope. Pretty much anywhere you put like an excessive amount of glue, you're going to want to add rope. 1, to cover it up, 2, to give it some stability, and then 3, because it looks good. So why not, you know? So just add the rope here. I think I did maybe a few. I want to say I did like 3, maybe even 4 rows of it. Mostly for the way that it looked, but also because I wanted to give it a lot of stability and make sure that this did not disconnect. Because putting hot glue on top of metal, you know, it doesn't work that well. You know what I mean? So you got to make it secure. Now we're going to spray this glossy spray all over the pizza pans to make it nice and shiny. Alright, so for the very last parts, you take the tin can, flip it over onto the pizza pan, mark it. Find the middle somehow. Listen, I found the middle, but let me tell you, that wasn't easy. So find your way to do it. I used some hot glue and some E6000 for this part. I went ahead and got it nice and secure. And then I used some rope and I went ahead and finished it off. Because yes, more rope. Why not? And then you go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other one. And voila, you're finished. So I decided to add some lights. You're free to do whatever you want. You can leave it without lights. They still look amazing without lights. You can put the lights in there before you glue them together and do that as well. Either way, this project turned out absolutely amazing and I am so happy with them. Here it is with plug-in lights, so if you're having it beside your bed or something like that, obviously it would be covered a little bit more with the plug, but I just put it in my hallway to be able to show you. So, I mean, listen, you could do it however you want, but I think that this looks really good, again, with or without lights. Or maybe you want blue lights, maybe you want white lights, maybe you want red lights. Whatever you want, you can make it happen, because these are pretty versatile when it comes to the lights, considering you just put them in the holes. So, I don't know. Love this project. Very happy with it. What do you guys think? Leave it down in the comment below, please.